Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Michael Larkin, and joining me today is a woman who will be making her LFC debut next week at LFC 35 Booty Camp 3D, Miss Lauren Ceccarelli. She'll be taking on Veronica Payne. Hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I cannot complain. First and foremost, I am excited to see you make your debut next week. How you feeling? We're almost there. We are a short time away before LFC 35 on All Hallows Eve on pay-per-view next Sunday. How you feeling going into it?
I'm super duper excited.
I got to say, first and foremost, you absolutely killed it in LFC Madness. Came very, very close. The finals were between Sheena and Shaylin. You started from LFC Madness, and now here you are on the card. Talk about the LFC Madness experience. Great for a lot of LFC prospects.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of shocked as how far I made it. I really appreciate all the support that so many people gave me. It's really reassuring, and like I had no idea like I'd make it as far as I did, but I'm really glad, and I'm really glad that I'm on the card and I'm gonna show what I can do.
Now, for me, what's interesting is that I love all these prospects and all these new people that come into LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. I'm curious what really gravitated you towards LFC, because again, it's the sex appeal side of things mixed with great art forms and different crafts. How did you get involved and what really gravitated you towards Lingerie Fighting Championships?
I knew a couple of the fighters already, Danica De La Rouge and Shayna Lazarus, and I see Volcana is also making her debut this time. So I was like, well, that's cool. I really respect them as fighters. And so I figured I'd also like to be in the same arena as them because, you know, I want to show how hard I've worked these past 3 years. And yeah, I don't know. I just really like fighting.
Well, you've come to the right place when it comes to fighting. And I will say this, three amazing names. Danica De La Rouge, a former LFC champion. So is Shay the Fox Mazzato, better known to professional wrestling fans as Maserati. And we also got Volcana, who we're going to have the first ever lucha lingerie fight with her and La Scorpia as the main event. You can't go wrong with that, especially with Halloween representing the luchadoras, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I love lucha.
Well, I think what's also very cool about it is too, when it comes to the lucha, art form, it's very graceful. It's very high octane aerial assault. And plus you get to mix with beautiful women in lingerie. So we have a nice little mesh for everybody.
Yeah. I had a trainer at my dojo who was an expert in lucha. So he really helped me really gain an appreciation for it.
I mean, when we're coming from the days of Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and everything from Mexico, and we're talking about super crazy psychosis. Hell, we had Chris Benoit's The Pegasus Kid and Chris Jericho Corleone de Leon. So, I mean, it's that type of style that really introduced a lot of the greats into the field.
Very much so. And a lot of them are still working today somehow.
Right? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you look at Chris Jericho, take that for example. The man has evolved so much with his character, and here he is being, the demo god. Judas in my mind. Everybody's singing his song on AEW, and he still is at the forefront in professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's really amazing how they're able to do such like high aerial impact stuff and are still able to continue going for as long as they can, because that cannot be easy on the body. And with Chris Jericho, it's just so amazing how he's kind of like, I like to think of him as like the Madonna of pro wrestling. Like he's just so good at reinventing himself and reinventing, his brand and what he does, and just keeping himself interesting and relevant.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you go from a guy who starts out with the Millennium Countdown, and then he's gone through so many phrases from, shut the hell up, and to where we culminated with the list, which was one of his biggest things in the WWE, to now with what he's doing in AEW. I mean, he's one of those guys, much like The Undertaker, where he just would always evolve his character inch by inch, rung by rung. So it's amazing to see. Legendary status, if you will.
For sure. Definitely.
Now, for you, Miss Legendary Status, you're making your LFC debut. You are bout number 2 against Veronica Payne. Now, Veronica Payne is 1-0 in LFC. At LFC 31, she won by disqualification against Jennifer Thomas, aka Jenny Bloody Valentine. There was a whole schmaz where Jenny got into it with Trap Gambino, who was a judge at the time, and Veronica got the victory. So Veronica Payne is looking to make it 2-0 against you, Lauren.
Yes, it's I know Veronica Payne has a lot of experience when it comes to fighting, both with MMA and wrestling. So it should be quite the challenge. I've been studying tape of hers though. So, and I've been training really hard lately. And I've been training really hard for the past 3 years at this, under a bunch of different people. And I'm really confident that I can at least give her a run for her money.
Well, first and foremost, if what we saw in LFC Madness was any indication, and I'm sure you absolutely will, coming into your bout Veronica Payne next week on All Hallows Eve. So now I got to ask you here, because you have a lot of beautiful imagery, and we'll touch on that cosplay stuff because you've been killing it on that front as well. What do we have? Oh, you're very welcome. Now, what do you have in mind for the lingerie side of things? Because again, besides the fact that we got beautiful fighters and beautiful ladies, what are we thinking lingerie style for next week?
I have a few different ideas I'm gonna run by, see what people like. But yeah, I'm looking at some Halloween themed stuff, maybe some bats or pumpkins, that sort of thing. Yeah, or I was thinking green, because I think maybe not a lot of girls will be wearing green, just want to stand out.
Hey man, sometimes you got to go the route of like a poison ivy or just put some green on, man. Because actually, I'm actually glad that you brought this up, because when you see a lot with the lingerie, there's a lot of maybe a little black, maybe a little blue, a little white, not a lot of green. So I got to say, you'd be the standout. So I'm actually glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, here's the thing about green. First of all, green with envy, number one. And number two, who doesn't love a little green? You know what I'm saying? Green really,
Yeah.
and it sticks out. And for instance, I mean, with Halloween, especially, green is always the color. I mean, frogs, if you could turn them into like a frog, like a Halloween Town style, Calabar's Revenge, where the dad was the frog in that. So, I mean, hey, it works.
Yeah, the golem of frogs.
Gollum.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had to bring that up because I'm looking at your photos and you posted about Halloween Town 2 and Calabar's Revenge, which I'm going to say right now, as a kid growing up in the 90s and as a DCOM, a Disney Channel original movie lover, the first 2 Halloween Towns for me were 2 of the absolute best in the whole 4 series.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely like the first 3. I kind of get a little iffy when people are recast. It kind of distracts me a little bit. Nothing against Sarah Paxton. She did as well as what she could with such an iconic role. But yeah, also there wasn't a lot of Aggie in Halloween Town University. So I was like, I need Aggie. I need my Debbie Reynolds.
Same, and Debbie Reynolds, absolutely, God rest her soul, made that franchise, made it what it is. And I will say this right now, I had to send this to you because I knew you would get it. One of the best songs of Halloween Town 2, I'm talking about David Casper's Witch's Brew. Just that whole scene where Dylan is there at the party, seeing him being turned into the Golem of Frogs, that song's in the background, really made for an amazing scene in that movie.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I like the dance scene.
Well, that's the thing too, because you're also in a world, we can actually equate this to real life. They have their own joyful world, and then they go back to Halloween Town and it's all gray, and you have the socks in the cupboard and her Debbie Reynolds, and just
yeah.
The whole scene with the socks is amazing, and it just and that really does kind of go with the black and white in today's world. There's something like that, and then there's something to open. So I mean, it kind of encompasses with life, right?
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get back to the colorful times soon. Or hopefully we are.
I mean, well, with today's world, I mean, we're getting back to some sense of normalcy. And I'll say right now, the COVID and the quarantining and everything really kicked our butts. So we're starting to get back there slowly but surely, slowly.
Slowly but surely, definitely.
Now, I'm going to say this about you as well, because when it comes to COVID as well, because you're talking about working your butt off and working hard over here, ma'am. How creative was that? Because you were in the times of lockdown and COVID and quarantine. Everybody's going out of their mind. They're going nuts. But at the same time, it gives us a chance to be creative with our workouts in general. So there's that creativity part of it.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely gave me a lot more time to really figure out what I really like to do just with my free time. And it definitely drew me a lot more towards cosplay than I had been in the past. Like before I would just do it like just occasionally just for like fun, but now like I don't know, it's become a real passion of mine in the past year.
I gotta say, first and foremost, I was actually going to bring up the cosplay side of things because I love the cosplay. I think it's one of those things where we get to be creative with our imagination and stuff like that, especially around Halloween. But I think it's very cool because it's such a genre and a fan base. Like you get to dress as your superheroes, dress as what have you, and it makes you give like your own reflection of what you love, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I especially like the bounding aspect because it also incorporates fashion into it, which I also really like fashion a lot too. Yeah, just being able to like mix dressing up in costume while also dressing up in a cute outfit is just totally fun for me.
I mean, if it doesn't show with your overall personality and your overall post, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity and respect, you're a very multifaceted individual, Lauren.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I like variety.
I mean, you have to. And I got to say right now with your latest post, I got to say the Adams family never looked so good. You did a great interpretation of the Adams family there too.
Thank you so much. Yes, Morticia Adams is great. I was a little caught between should I do Wednesday or should I do Morticia? And I'm like, no, I'm feeling Morticia today.
You made a wise choice with the Morticia, one of the most iconic characters in the Adams family history. Absolutely.
For sure.
Now, from the professional wrestling side of things, when it comes to professional wrestling, and I'm going to say right now, because I include you in these sentiments of the forefront of women who are going to be the next generation of professional wrestlers and inspiring those girls that want to get into said professional wrestling industry, what really kind of draw you to the professional wrestling side of things? I mean, with today's climate, you know, the reality shows like Total Bellas and the Total Divas and many of shows that we see are encompass reality television. But what really made you say, hey, you know what, let me try this wrestling thing out? Because again, amazing crap, but what gravitated you towards professional wrestling?
So it was actually the Netflix show Glow that came out in 2017. I watched it and it was like, oh, a bunch of struggling actresses finding themselves through wrestling. That sounds familiar. And I had a friend that really enjoyed wrestling when he was younger, and then he got back into it when his dad had free tickets to WrestleMania 31. And he's also really into MMA as well. So I just talked to him about it, and you know, we spitballed some ideas of what I could do for training and stuff. And I eventually ended up at Stoner U. And yeah, it just I don't know, there was just something pulling me to it, like a cosmic energy just calling me to it for some reason. And I just couldn't really put my finger in it on it. But like, I don't know, whenever I'm in the ring, that's the time where I feel the most present, like and when I do anything else, like my mind is at least like one tethered somewhere else, like at least one tether. Like I try to stay as present as possible, but it's hard. But when it comes to wrestling, like I'm just the most present. It's weird.
No, that's not weird at all. It kind of reminds me when Brock Lesnar and his first run in WWE, you know, he's the next big thing. He's with Paul Heyman. He's beating The Rock for the undisputed title, right? They did that documentary on him, and he's like, you know what? I grew up in Webster, South Dakota. I'm a farm boy. I'm a normal guy. I like to work hard. I like this amateur wrestling thing. But once I get in that ring, you know, shit's on, to put it bluntly, because that's how Brock Lesnar was. Outside, he's just this normal dude. But once you get in that ring, it's like, my goodness, it's Suplex City. It's like, I'm going to give you an F5. I'm going to go hard at you. But when we're done, you know, I'm back to being Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, there's a nice little compare and contrast for everybody when it comes to professional wrestling.
Very true, very true. Yeah, I'm usually a very quiet, reserved person, but I don't know, when it comes to the ring, I just come alive.
It's not a bad thing, though. I mean, when it comes to people who are shy or reserved, because I'm going to say right now, I'm a very quiet and reserved person as well. But once you get into what you love and what you really want to express with your endeavor and career, it's you with the volume turned up. That's pretty much what pro wrestling is. It's you just with the volume turned up, and you got to turn up the volume.
Of course, all the time in the ring.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you just want to come slapping people out of nowhere, I mean, that's you. I know, I'm only kidding, but it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes what you are in the ring kind of coincides with outside the ring, but mostly when you get into that ring, it's an amazing feeling. It's really that adrenaline rush, as they say.
Totally, 100%.
Now with you, I'm going to say right now, you're in a great area. Now, when you talk about like territories, you know, because everybody talks about the territories where, you know, you had your NWA, your WCW, your WWF, ECW, the different promotions. Like in Portland, for example, Rowdy Piper's had many of great stuff in the Oregon area. There's always that many cities and states that still have that territorial field, even though we're technically speaking out of the territories and the independent wrestling circuit. It's amazing just to see so many stops of many wrestling schools opening and just many promotions in different set areas.
Yeah, it is really exciting. And I don't know, it feels like the best timing ever. Like as I'm getting into this, like so much is coming out with pro wrestling. And I was like, oh, that happens to be like great timing for me. But yeah, I'm really excited, especially to see more women get into wrestling. And especially in the NorCal area, and Northern California has been great. I've just worked with so many amazing people already, and I've already met some amazing people through Hood Slam, and Best of the West. Well, Best of the West is more like Central California, I would guess. But yeah, it's been really interesting how small the pro wrestling community is, but I like it. It's very intimate.
Hey man, and when you're talking about Hood Slam, you can't go wrong with some Broseph Joe Brody, that Brody guy, that bro. Hey bro, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey man, I mean, here's what's great about that promotion. I'm glad you brought up Hood Slam. There's a lot of comedy elements, it's entertainment, but god dang, there's some badass wrestlers there. And that's what I love, because you need that mix of entertainment and well with some seriousness too. Like look at ECW. Everybody's going balls to the wall with the plunder. I mean, there's weapons, there's the violence, but at the same time, here's Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Eddie Guerrero over here just killing it from the wrestling side of things. We need that mix in professional wrestling. We need that variety like we talked about.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. And you can just see like with the crowds in ECW and the crowds at Hood Slam, like that's just what resonates with them. And like a lot of the crowds at Hood Slam, they're not even necessarily pro wrestling fans. They just want to watch something and be entertained. And they just happen upon this pro wrestling show and they're entertained by it. And I think it speaks a lot to Hood Slam and what it's done and what Dark Sheik has done with it, that even non-wrestling fans are able to just come in and enjoy themselves and not even necessarily be huge fans themselves.
Oh, absolutely. I look at it from a stance. Well, first and foremost, when it comes to California, like you're talking about North California, the West Coast, the West Side, if you will, has some of the best professional wrestling from Santino Brothers Academy, from so many schools that are in the California area. Growing up on Long Island, I could speak for myself. The New York Wrestling Connection was like 10 or 15 minutes from my house. So that was the local India. You go to Saturday nights, you're going to see amazing night of action over the weekends, right? So you have that on the Northeast. You have Cali, the Northeast, and on the the West Coast. God dang, man, plethora of knowledge and plethora of schools. Some of the best in the absolute nation.
Mm-hmm. I bet. Yeah. If I can finally make it out to the East Coast, I've only been there like a handful of times, but yeah, I definitely, the traveling aspect of wrestling definitely also is alluring to me because I really like traveling, and I'm going to be traveling to Vegas soon.
Well, I will say this, when you're out on the East Coast, I know you're going to kill it. So when that happens, I'm going to be smiling ear to ear because I know you're going to kill it on the East Coast.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And speaking of Las Vegas, man, also the importance of this, it's at the FSW Arena, Lauren. The FSW Arena, Future Stars of Wrestling, is great, giving us so many great talents like Maserati, who we touched upon earlier, Shay the Fox Masato, Karrion Kross, Eli Drake, Chris Bay, who's now in Impact Wrestling. There's a lot of prestige with that FSW Arena.
Yeah, I've been following them closely on social media. And yeah, I've seen a lot of great talent that I would really love to work, especially Sandra Moon. I'm really impressed with her. Really would love to work her at some point.
And that's the main thing too as well, because we mentioned East Coast and West Coast there, but Las Vegas, my God, not just because it's the fight capital of the world, but Future Stars of Wrestling has become the top independent promotion in Las Vegas. Now, it was new to me, like I think I got introduced to it about a year or two ago, right? So I'm relatively new to the product, but for those who have not seen a Future Stars of Wrestling show, it's absolutely amazing. And it's like, God dang, Las Vegas, not only are you killing it with boxing, MMA, combative natures all around, but now we have some professional wrestling exclusively to the Las Vegas front.
Yeah, it definitely fits in with the element there. Yeah, just in general, Las Vegas is a great place for entertainment. So why not have it be the fight capital of the world? Why not have great professional wrestling there as well? It makes sense to me.
Absolutely does. And I mean, with the LFC product and everything that we discussed with LFC, I always equated it to, now you could tell me, like I said, I may be dating myself on here, but god dang it, man, this is the stuff that we had growing up in the mid 2000s. Like, look at the LFL, right? The Lingerie Football League. It's badass women looking good, the sex appeal aspect, and they're kicking butt and taking names in their lingerie, right? Lauren the Animal Fogel, who's a fighter in LFC, came from there as well. Same with Ty Emery, and Summer Rae, who was in the WWE, came from the LFL, which is now the Legends Football League. So LFL and LFC, very similar in the dichotomy, but still very physical at the same time.
For sure, for sure. You know, who says you can't be hot and kick ass at the same time?
That's the thing too. And I know in today's day and age, and I got to say, I love women's wrestling. There's so many great wrestlers, and again, including yourself and this Miss Lauren. But god dang, man, you have to have that sex appeal, that mass appeal, the sex appeal, looking good and taking names at the same time. And I'm gonna say, growing up, I love me some Trish and Lita, and those were two beautiful women kicking ass and taking names at the same time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, you know, I think there's room for everyone, every type of person in professional wrestling. You know, and if you want to look hot, that's great. If you just want to be a badass and not even really care about appearances, that's great too. You know, I think it just depends on what your vibe is. It's just my vibe happens to fit LFC well.
And you do, and you look good, and you're doing your thing too. I got to say, I know you've been training hard, like we mentioned in the top of the hour here, but god dang, man, it's the systematic dissection, it's the joint manipulation. You're ready to kick, you're ready to strike. Dare I say, you're ready to pounce.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've definitely been working on my submissions and strikes for the most part, but I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to reveal my strategy.
Hey, don't do that here, but I'm going to say, are we going to have a little Shayna Baszler on our hands here?
Possibly.
Okay. I like that. Now, that is the name I had to bring up because MMA and pro wrestling, there's so many coincides, right? There's so many different promotions. Look at Invicta, right? Shannon Hogan's promotion. Knapp, I apologize. Shannon Knapp. So Invicta is now on Access TV, where Impact Wrestling is, right? Shayna Baszler comes from Invicta, same with Jessamine Duke. Now, when Shayna Baszler got into professional wrestling, we're talking about being trained by Billy Robinson. She's so fluid, and it's so great with her submissions, right? The fans today, and I'm going to say this right now, this is the one critique I have. A lot of people would find that style boring, and they're entitled to their opinion, but god dang, man, the way that she tells a story, I love it. I think it's a nice blend.
Yeah, I'm into the drama, definitely, for sure. I think, you know, a lot of people, when they get in the ring, they just want to go, 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 which, you know, there's a time and place for that, but there's also a time and place to like really take your time. You know, you just depends on, you know, you got to feel things out, and, you know, taking her time happens to be Shayna's specialty. You know, she goes on her terms, which works out really well for her. So if it works, it works.
Here's the thing about that too, and I love how you put that. If it works, it works, because there's a lot of professional wrestling today, and I'll put this the bluntest way I possibly can. It's like slow the fuck down, and when I say that, I don't mean it like funny, like slow the fuck down, but literally slow the fuck down. It's like you're watching, okay, like right here in my room here, I got a PS2, right? One of my all-time favorite WWE video games is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, right? It's like square, triangle, X, everybody's like doing this, but then they don't like work the hold, you know, work the arm bar, you know, twist. It's all just instead of just, you know, if I can put that in the bluntest of terms possible, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. You know, sometimes you just gotta work a limb, you know, and that's the most effective strategy.
I think it's the
You
old,
know,
well, yeah, it's the old time of catch as catch can wrestling. Like that's an art form from the late 1800s to the early 1900s that really is kind of like a lost art nowadays. Not a lot of people really understand the overall chain wrestling and the catch as catch can style.
yeah, for sure. It seems like they're just trying to blow each other up the whole time.
Like
Sometimes.
hey, a perfect example of that is watch Diesel and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 11. Shawn Michaels, before he found Christ, was doing his thing, just being Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels will admit it. And Diesel just puts him in the hold, and you see that shit stop real quick.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, when you know you're smaller, you gotta really speed it up, you know, to kind of outrun the bigger guy.
Friggin' Roadrunner over here. Absolutely. I like that. Yes, very true. But
Yeah.
goodness gracious me, like from top to bottom, when we come to LFC 35 Booty Camp 3D, there's another element for the people, you know, beauty in three dimensions, a 3D aspect, very new to the LFC as well. We're going to have a little 3D going on there.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea. Like it was literal. Like I thought it was just like three because it was the third one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also the chance that we get to add a little 3D element. I know we're going to include it, not to give a lot of spoilers here, like you're not doing your strategy, but hey, you know, there's a little 3D element. You'll see it when we get there.
For sure, for sure. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, we were talking about LFC Madness brings us great prospects like you, and now into the forefront with Veronica Payne. But god dang, man, Sheena Bathory and Shaylin, who were on the show not too long ago, and T. Bella Madison and Bella Rockefeller. It's going to be great to see those fights from the opening bout, which will be for your bout, Sheena and Shay, and T. Bella and Bella. God dang, man, the finals of the LFC Madness tournament. That has been a hit amongst the LFC fans.
Oh yeah, totally, for sure. They're getting a lot of a double whammy, a big bang for their buck on this pay-per-view. Yeah, 2 fights they wanted. That's awesome.
Also, I love your name, Miss Laura the Adventurous Ceccarelli, the adventurous one, as I say. I mean, we've never had in the history of LFC a nickname is the thing, right? Really, that sets the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like with Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Laura the Adventurous Ceccarelli, adventurous one. You love to travel, you like to explore, so I think it's only fitting, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I also really like the kind of, because it's like adventurous, like as opposed to adventurer, like more feminine, but it's also like adventurous, like I'm adventurous, you know, it's kind of like a pun. I secretly like, not so secretly like puns. I like to pretend I don't like them, but I kind of do. I have a love-hate relationship with them.
Well, either way, I mean, it helps. We can have a little female Indiana Jones on our friggin' roster here. You know what I'm saying, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm totally down.
I look at it from a stance too, but in life, actually, what also encompasses that name, like, how can you not be adventurous? There's so many things to explore every day you wake up. So it's a nice little fitting too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really liked, and that's another thing that drew me to wrestling in general, is just that it was another thing that I could like really explore. Like I really like, I've like gone through music and dance and traveling, and I've done all kinds of stuff. And it's like, I really haven't done fighting yet, you know? And I always really felt that like kind of fighting spirit. Like my dad, he was in the Marine Corps, so were my brothers. So I always felt like kind of this like warrior spirit that I kind of wanted to tap into. And it definitely fits the adventure vibe.
Well, first and foremost, with the Marine Corps, salute and thank them for their service. That's absolutely amazing. That's that warrior spirit, like you so adequately put it there. But god dang, man. I mean, you're talking about you're not gonna act like you're not a Jill of all trades here. You go from music, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I like that. And also with the music side of things, like, are you into like dance, or what was it through the music side of things? I'm kind of curious because again, a great art form that is music and overall dance. What were you kind of doing on the music side?
I really like to sing, and my friend has a band. I'm hoping I could use one of his songs as my entrance music. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I really like going to rock concerts, and I went to a ton in like my early 20s, and I kind of fell out of it a little bit, but I still go occasionally. Of course, with everything that's happened, it's been a while since I've been to one, but soon, hopefully soon. But yeah, I love going to rock concerts so much.
See, I'm like that on like the opposite side of things. Like for me, I'm very eclectic, and I'm sure you can agree with this. When you're very eclectic and you like all different types of music, it doesn't matter because it's like you're gonna give me a good time at concerts. There's gonna be refreshments. It's gonna be nice. It's an outdoor scene, and everybody's just gonna have a good time, right? So I remember as a kid growing up on Long Island at Jones Beach, there used to be a lot of summer jams and winter jams. There was a lot of pop acts, there was a lot of rap acts, there was rock acts, and just being in that element of just being outside and not right by the water. And it's amazing. And plus, I mean, who doesn't want to see Aerosmith being opened by Sammy Hagar, which is another event that happened there? It's a mix of Van Halen and Aerosmith. That's 80s rock right there.
Oh yeah, for sure, totally. One of my favorite music festivals is Aftershock. I didn't go this year, but I've been in years past, and I've seen Hailstorm there. I've seen the Deftones there. And there's a really good mix of like hard rock there. But yeah, I also have a really eclectic taste in music. Like I prefer going to rock concerts, but like my first ever concert was when I was like 10 or something, and I saw Britney Spears. I'm a huge Britney fan. Hashtag free Britney. But yeah, I love Lady Gaga also, and Beyonce. I like pop as well too. I just happen to like, my friends also really like rock and roll and going to rock concerts, so that's just how I happen to fall into it. And like the rock and roll atmosphere is very similar to the pro wrestling atmosphere, which is kind of also what drew me to wrestling. A lot drew me to wrestling.
No, I'm right there with you because a lot of people don't realize like how similar music and professional wrestling is. Like with Chris Jericho and Fozzy and Mickey James doing her thing on the country side of things, there's a lot really of tie-ins that everybody does music and stuff. Like I remember remember the WWE original CD back in the day in like 2003? Remember that CD?
Yes. Yes.
When you have John Cena, which bring out, Word Life, This Is Basic Thugonomics, and Rikishi singing, Stacy Keibler singing, Trisha singing, Lita singing, because she's in a rock band at the time, the Lucha Gores, I believe it was called. But God,
Yes.
man, okay, say thank you. But at the same time, like it gives us these superstars to explore. Oh, hey, they can sing, they can entertain. Like that's a very cool element. And I'll be honest with you, like I'm so glad that you brought up Britney Spears. That was one of the winter jams I had. So I believe it was late 99 Jones Beach. This is Britney Spears at like Hide a Baby One More Time. You drive me crazy. I'm talking about sometimes. I'm talking about From the Bottom of My Broken Heart. This was right before Oops, I Did It Again. So I got to say, for those who've never seen Britney Spears live, it's an amazing event. It's an amazing concert.
It is. The first time I saw her was her Dream Within a Dream tour. So when her self-titled album came out, her third studio album came out. And then I saw her a couple of years ago during her Vegas residency.
Nice. Good times. And first and foremost, with that Britney self-titled, I'm a Slave for You, one of the most iconic VMA performances. That snake, that attire lives on in my mind, man. That's 20 years right now. Can you believe that's 20 years already?
No, that just blew my mind.
Oh, well, that was also around the time, I think that was when Crossroads came out, the two at the same time. I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Very iconic film. I enjoy it a lot. Zoe Saldana.
See, and that's the thing too. And that movie has gotten a lot of bad crap over the years. But actually, if you sit down and watch it, it's really not that bad. It's not the worst thing that's ever like produced. I mean, at the same time, we have Pootie Tang, for God's sake, and that was based on the Saturday Night Live sketch, and that movie sucked. So yeah, we had. Would you rather go see Crossroads or Pootie Tang? I think I'm going to take Crossroads, please.
Yeah, Crossroads any day. Yeah, there's a lot to enjoy about Crossroads. I like it. It's earnest, and plus, it's got a lot of Britney Spears songs in it, so I'm down.
Hey, I will admit this, and I admitted this on my past shows. When I was 7 years old, this is 99, right? I actually legit wrote a fan letter to Britney Spears, and it was one of the best things ever, just because I got to say I got to write a fan letter to Britney Spears. I was hooked, you know what I'm saying? From Baby One More Time. And I remember her like, okay, oh my God, I'm going to date myself here. Remember the Disneys and concerts that they used to do every single weekend on the Disney Channel, those Disneys and concerts?
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the very first ones, and I remember watching her concert on Disney in concert, and it was absolutely amazing. Like there was a nice mix there, and it's so funny that years later, there's people that are still petitioning to get the Disney in concerts back on like the Disney Channel, or even now on Disney Plus, because I don't even think they're on Disney Plus right now.
Oh, really? That would be a really good place to put them, I think.
Oh, agreed. I mean, there were so many iconic ones. Like I remember, okay, so the Backstreet Boys did one, and this was around the time of the Millennium one, and this really stuck out because as someone who's close with his mommy, I could say it like this. When they had Mom, You Always Wore the Perfect Fan, that choir in the background, it gets you right here. Like it legit gets you right here. So there's a lot of memorable moments like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of like live stuff that Disney used to do on the Disney Channel, like that I kind of miss, that used to be like tied to their like Hollywood Studios theme park, or back then it was MGM Studios. But yeah, like MGM Studios like has had to, or Hollywood Studios has had to like rehaul their entire theming, because like so much of it was tied to like, this is where Mickey Mouse Club films. This is where we film actual stuff, because they thought Orlando was going to be like the next film capital of the world, but hurricanes,
That's true. And I will say, from the DCOM side of things with Disney in concert, it gave us that iconic scene from Smart House where Ryan Merriman, they're watching Five in the background slam dunk, right, that infamous dance scene. Remember that?
Yes. There's a YouTuber that I really like, Jarvis, that did a video on Smart House that was pretty good. And LeVar Burton, who actually created the film or was involved in the film, responded to it, and it was really great.
LeVar Burton goes from Roots, Reading Rainbow, and he directs one of the most iconic DCOMs ever. How crazy is that?
He's a very talented man.
He is. Like, that blew my mind years later, finding that. I'm like, wait a minute, the guy from, because again, you grew up as a kid and you see every afternoon there's Reading Rainbow, and you're like, the guy who did Reading Rainbow, it's still one of my best. And oh my God, Katie Seagal as Pat was still, it's a classic movie. For those who've never seen Smart House, go to Smart. Let's see Smart House.
Oh yeah, it definitely predicted the future in some ways.
That is very true. That is so true now that we're thinking about it, man. I think Ryan Merriman after that, also one of my older favorites. I remember The Luck of the Irish. He was also in that one back in 01.
Yep, I remember that one. It's that one's an interesting one to watch now. Because it's like, oh my goodness, why is every Irish character a leprechaun in this movie?
I mean, Seamus McTiernan, they're gonna steal our look. and nothing says wanting to play for the luck. Nothing like a high school basketball game, right?
Yeah, of course. DComs really liked basketball. I don't know if you ever noticed. There's a lot of DComs that involve basketball.
Full court miracle. We got that full court press. You know, the Huckabees, man. Friggin' Alex D. Linz is shooting his brains off, man. Full court miracle.
Double teamed,
Yeah.
High School Musical. Like, they really like basketball at Disney Channel.
And I gotta say right now, that movie really focused on the WNBA. The double teamed was not bad. And Heather and Heidi Burge were actually really great in their college run.
Oh yeah, old school Disney Channel movies are surprisingly, a lot of them are really surprisingly like profound, like Color of Friendship, or like I think it was True Confessions with Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, they covered some pretty heavy topics back in the day, or like Susie Q, which they'll never play ever again on Disney Channel, but like they covered some pretty heavy stuff, and it's kind of crazy how like sanitized it's gotten.
Now you see, this is why I love you, because you're putting on my heartstrings here. Because no, here's the thing: that True Confessions right here, when he's like, "I want to be the same as everybody else. The books are falling out of the library." You sympathize, and you can feel what Shia LaBeouf is saying in that movie. And like you were talking about The Color of Friendship, like Shadia Simmons before she was, oh my God, Nebula and Xenon the Sequel. She was the other Nebula in the Xenons franchise. That movie, it just hits on so many things. The apartheid, like that just hits on a lot of history right there. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize like how down to earth and how real it is, because we don't get that nowadays.
Yeah, won an Emmy, for goodness sake. I don't know if any other Disney Channel original movies have won Emmys, but I know that one did.
I mean, you're in the forefront because that came out, Jesus, 2000, right? So we're in the start of the 2000s. It's the new millennium, but we're let's focus on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. Like, here's the thing, and I've always said this before Disney Plus. If you really wanted to see a good DCOM like the ones that we're talking about, like from the old school, you would have to stay up to like 3:00 in the morning on the weekend, because they would play those movies at like 3:00 in the morning on Disney.
Yeah, exactly. I remember like summer vacations, I would spend like my time like at 2 a.m. and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this movie. It exists.
Well, I mean, from the Halloween side of things, we talked about Halloween Town. Under Wraps was another classic. And I mean, for God's sake, Don't Look Under the Bed. We had the Boogeyman.
Don't Look Under the Bed. Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Let me see what else. There's so many. They really like Halloween also at Disney Channel. Basketball and Halloween.
Well, of course, I'm going to bring up one of my absolute favorites, because we're going to go back to Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire, because that is one of them. But my other favorite, Phantom of the Megaplex.
Oh yes, that is a good one. Yes, I really like that one.
I think that was like Mickey Rooney's like one of his last movies before like he retired, which is nuts.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, any like Phantom of the Opera is like probably my favorite Universal monster, and then I love going to the movie theaters, so it definitely hit both elements for me.
Yeah, and the thing too is, here's what's cool about like just thinking about that. Like, we're talking about the Halloween side of things in general, but from the Disney front, it's like, here's the thing: Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. They're sitting around at the dining room table, you know, they're eating dinner, and he's like, I'm just remembering that time when we used to eat chocolate chip pancakes. I really miss that, and it just gave her an excuse to go to the market. And then she meets up with Charles Genesi, who plays the vampire in the movie, and it's just like, it all started because, you know, he just wanted some chocolate chip cookies. Like, that's one of the plots of it. You know, I just remember sitting around here, just the delivery of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it's funny how things happen. Like, I just ran into LFC because I liked the page, because I saw there was a bunch of wrestlers that I really respected working for LFC, and all of a sudden I get a DM from them and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd love to work with you guys. It's just wild how things happen.
Well, that's the beauty of social media, right? There's some pluses to social media besides all the drama that does happen, but there's a lot of pluses that do happen with social media.
Agreed. Yeah, I with technology, you got to take the good in with the bad. There's a lot of benefits and there's a lot of drawbacks, but that's life, baby.
That is life, but at the same time, too, I think we can turn those negatives into positives. And I think, especially in the day's society and climate, like we mentioned before, we got to be united, not divided, right? Because we're all on the same team. We all want that same goal. We want a success for us and each other, you know?
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Bring the High School Musical. There you go. It goes back to High School Musical. But no, I mean, I think that's it's very apropos. It's very cliche, but it's very true in those sentiments. And also at the same time, too, man. Like we're talking about basketball, we're talking about all these Halloween themes. Let's not forget that we had a stepsister from Planet Weird back in the day on Disney Channel. My goodness, that movie.
Oh my God, that just like activated another part of my brain. I totally forgot about that one. Oh God.
She's
Yes,
a bubble.
Stepsister from Planet Weird. Oh God.
She's a bubble in the sink. She's afraid of the wind. You know, they drink soda to talk the way that they talk. And I'm like, who comes up with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I probably the person that came up with the DComs like probably moved to Pixar for a little bit. I don't know, and like refined their ideas a little more because like there's some wild ideas over at Pixar now.
I mean, like when we think of Van Helsing, we think of movies like, you know, friggin' Hugh Jackman and friggin' Beckinsale and all these friggin' amazing actors and actresses. But like we were talking about Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, like Robert Carradine from Revenge of the Nerds played Van Helsing. He's in that movie. It's 2000, right? Then a year later, he's Lizzie McGuire's dad. Like how crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. It's acting. Got to be versatile.
That is very true. I will say the one acting I've okay, so Jim Carrey, one of the funniest comedians ever, right? When he did the number 23 in 2007, I'm like, I wasn't feeling because I'm like, Jim, this is not you, man. Where's the mask? You know what I'm saying? Where's Ace Ventura? It's not the Jim Carrey that I know.
Yeah, I much prefer Cable Guy when it comes to horror and Jim Carrey.
The fact that he wanted to be on Steven's team and fix your cable Steven, the way he talks Steven like that, yep, with the little like lisp that he had, absolutely.
Yeah, that's more his element, I think, is just character acting. Like I wanted to like 23 because I love horror, but like I don't know, just I also wasn't feeling it, you know.
Same. And here's the thing, I'm a horror guy too. I love all different genres of movies. Now I'm going to ask you on the horror side of things, what's one of the horror movies that really stands out to you? Because I mean, it is Halloween and spooky season, Lauren. So what's a Halloween movie that really sticks out for you?
Um, there is a couple, but I'm going to have to say Scream is probably one of my favorites, like all time. Second, really close second would be A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Not the 2010 version, but the original version.
No, yes, the original version. Yes.
We don't talk about that. Okay, here's a funny story about that real quickly. So I remember they were advertising that because I was my senior year of high school at that time, and I'm like, it's another Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm thinking to my head, like, nothing will ever beat the original. Like, because there's a lot of the stuff that they try to reboot now, like nothing will ever beat the original. And then I remember it was on like FX or something one day, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, God, this sucks. And I don't mean to put it like that, but God, it sucks so bad. I'm like, what are we doing here? There's so different elements that really didn't coincide, and it ruined it for me.
Yeah, it like I can see wanting to like do slashers through like a modern lens, but like I don't know, I just don't feel like they've been hitting the mark. Like the new Chucky. I haven't watched the TV show yet. I heard that's good, but the Chucky like one with Mark Hamill, which I love Mark Hamill, great voice actor, amazing space dad. But like I don't know, it's just it wasn't really his doing. It was more like the story. Just they took away what worked in the original and just completely changed it to like some episode of Black Mirror. And like I get like trying to like make things relevant, but like I feel like there's a better way to do it.
Yes. And as far as Black Mirror goes, when it comes to Netflix, loved it. And I will say this, I did catch up. I did catch up on other stuff, but I really did enjoy it. Have you ever seen like the whole Haunting of Bly Manor, that series that Netflix had like last year? It was not bad. It was actually pretty interesting. Have you ever seen it?
Yes. Actually, Haunting of Hill House is probably my favorite Netflix show, like the first season. I also really liked Haunting of Bly Manor, also very good. But yeah, Haunting of Hill House, it just it got to me. so personally. I love that show so much. I've rewatched it so many times.
And it's funny, and I'm smiling as we're talking about this because with the Blind Manor one, like I started it, and I've seen a lot of people like would talk about this, and a lot of my friends have mentioned this as well. Like it starts out, you're like, okay, where are we going with this? But as we get like further on, you start to realize and you put the pieces together, and it's like, oh wow. Because it goes from like this creepiness and the like there, I'm not gonna give the whole thing away for those who haven't seen it, but it's very creepy, and then it turns into like this loving thing. And I'm like, okay, it's coming full circle, but there's a love out of this, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I really like it. I really it really tugs on the heartstrings. It really just rips your heart out and smashes it on the ground, but I still love it. Very good story.
I mean, it's like with professional wrestling. If you're not evoking emotions, then what are you doing? It's a whirlwind of emotions. You got to evoke emotions.
Very true. Very true.
Yes. And speaking of evoking emotions, before we close this out, I'm going to say this right now. You were an absolute blast to just talk pop culture, wrestling, and everything in general. I really did enjoy this, and I definitely cannot wait for round 2 with you, Lauren. Thank you again.
Yeah, this was super duper fun. Yeah, I loved it so much.
Well, I'm going to say this right now because next week it's LingerieFC.com. It is Las Vegas, Nevada. It is FSW Arena. So for those who won't be in attendance, it's $19.95. Go to LingerieFC.com. You're taking on the VP, as she is known, Veronica Payne. It's her second fight. It's your debut. Do you have any final words for your opponent there, Miss Veronica Payne?
Watch out, baby.
Simple and straight to the point. I like your style. I like your style. So guys, check in next week for LFC 35 Booty Camp 3D. And Miss Lauren Ceccarelli, please promote the social medias, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, whatever form of social media that you're on. Please go ahead. The links will be in the description. Promote the social media. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. At Skipper Lauren S on pretty much everything.
Okay, you see, here's the thing with you, and this is why I love you. It's simple, straight to the point with the final words. It's just Skipper Lauren. That's what a lot of things in life have to be, my friend. Simple, as they used to say, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. And first of all, I love the handle, Skipper Lauren. That's very cool as the handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to be a Jungle Cruise skipper in both Florida and California at Disneyland and Magic Kingdom.
Wait a minute. So you're doing music, you're dancing, you're wrestling. Jungle. Okay. See, now I'm going to ask you, how fun was that? Because I could just only imagine just being around that and the jungle aspect again with the adventurous name. But how cool is that, man? That's badass.
It's pretty fun. It probably one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. I miss it a lot. Definitely very tiring and exhausting, but definitely super duper fun. I definitely, would recommend at least trying it once in your life if you're into telling jokes in the middle of the jungle and getting lost.
Hey, I mean, there's a lot of great things as far as the jungle, the wilderness, the nature, just having fun. And again, we're talking about, that's what we have to do in life, is have fun. But god dang, man, being among the animals or being around that environment, again, it's beautiful. It's beautiful at the same time and fun. You know what I'm saying? It's that overall ambiance.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So for the skipper over here, and for the music, the ballet, the dance, the wrestling, the jill of all trades, the very eclectic Miss Lauren Ceccarelli, do you have any final words for the LFC fans as well? Again, LingerieFC.com, guys. Go see Lauren against Veronica Payne. You got any final words for the LFC universe, man?
Yes, thank you so much for helping me get this opportunity. I would not probably be here if it was for you guys not voting for me during LFC madness. So I super duper appreciate it. Can't wait for you guys to see what I can do.
And my final words is, guys, you can check out this podcast on all forms of social media, all different audio platforms, and my YouTube channel, and on the LFC network on Roku. We're on Roku now. So you get the LFC podcast, you get LFC Exposed, you get the events with this one over here. Lauren Ceccarelli is going to be on next week as well. And I'm going to say this, I cannot wait to meet you next week. It's going to be a pleasant event. I'm going to be doing the ring announcing. I can't wait to ring announce you.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see. I used to do some ring announcing too, so.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be in for a treat. I'm going to do you right as far as just getting your name out there and just really entertaining the people. So guys, if you're in the Las Vegas area, come on down, say hello to the LFC personnel, say what's up to Lauren, say what's up to myself. You're in for a treat. I mean, it's Halloween. What better way to spend Halloween with a lot of beautiful women in lingerie and just a badass show, right?
I can't think of anything better.
I cannot. So beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Lauren Ceccarelli, the adventuress, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much. This was super fun.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.